welcome to the nation. Which nation? The nation dedicated to the single greatest sport on planet Earth, SlamBall Nation. I'm your co-host, Brendan Kirsch, head coach of the undefeated, undisputed world champion. That's the most important part, world champion mob. Joined by my co-host, head coach of the Buzzsaw, or as my 6-year-old daughter likes to say, the Buzzsaws, the one and only Hernando Planells Jr. Coach H, what's happening?
Well, I'd love to think or say that I have as many titles as you are, but at this time, as I share with the rest of you, I'm just an unemployed SAG card holder, just here for the laughs and the fellowship with these guys today.
All right. If you're unfortunate enough to be actually watching this instead of just listening to the podcast, and I question that, you've noticed our guest. He's sitting here waiting patiently as we blather on, as we tend to do. Does he look familiar? He should. It's none other than Stan Shakes Fletcher, one of the greatest SlamBall players of all time. Some would say the GOAT, and we can debate that later on in the podcast. But his credentials and job titles don't in there. He's the VP of Competition and Player Relations in SlamBall. He made his head coaching debut in Series 6 with the Slashers. He's also the host and producer of a SlamBall podcast that is much better produced and a lot more interesting than this one. Shake up the game. Stan, welcome to the nation, brother.
They probably, since you're a SAG card holder and broke, then I probably got lupus to where they don't know who I am right now. With this
It's good to see you, brother.
I'm glad to be on. Thank you. I've been watching the SlamBall, Slam Nation, man, since you guys started. And first of all, I love you guys because y'all were my coaches. I wish I had a coach. I'll say that. I wish I had a coach in SlamBall, and if I did have a coach, it would have been one of you guys.
We would have been so lucky. I'll tell you, the mob or the bouncers would have won a couple more championships if Stan Shakes Fletcher was on the roster. I can promise you that.
Maybe I would have won a damn game in my life then. Shit.
Well, I tell you what, I wouldn't know what to do with you, Shakes. I'd be like, hey, man, just do you. Just do you, and let's see where it goes. That's it. That's my coaching philosophy.
Oh, man. We needed some leadership, man. Well, I tell you this. I love John Starks as a player, not as a SlamBall coach. Thank you. Sorry.
Hey, that's all right. We don't even know what John Starks is doing, but if you're listening, I have your rookie card. If you don't mind signing it, I'd like to get a couple bucks off you. But, appreciate you, Starks.
So this is a true story. When we had celebrity coaches, we had John Starks, obviously, Xavier McDaniel. We had some studs, some well-known guys that had pedigree in the NBA. And then we had Raghib Ismail, the Rocket from Notre Dame, obviously. Now, I grew up in Indiana, Irish Catholic. I was a huge Notre Dame fan. I watched him return a kickoff against Colorado that got called back in the national championship, and then he returned it again. And I was such a Rocket fan. And the entire season, he was the only guy I wanted to get a picture with. And so we played them, we beat them. And then I was like, not a good time to take a picture. And then we played them a second time and beat them. I was like, not a good time. And then we played them a third time in the playoffs and beat them. And I was like, well, I may never see the guy again. So right after the game, I was like, Coach, is it okay if I get a picture with you? And he was like, absolutely. He was so great about it. But
hold on. First of all, let's make a correction on that story. You actually beat me because during the whole preseason, I've been the Vouchers coach forever. Then all of a sudden we get to Universal, like, oh, hey, Raghib Ismail is going to be the head coach. I said, and you're going to have Mason Gordon. What?
Oh, did I win?
Yeah. I had no idea.
Nah, I'm not rolling. See, I wasn't no VP or nothing back then. I was just playing around with a damn brown jersey on. Like, who wears brown to play sports? But
the Maulers, baby.
Not even Cleveland Browns.
The Hombres.
Whatever. And I'm like, okay, who is the coach? Because I'm not saying Rocket is the coach. I don't care how fast you are. OJ is the coach of the Bouncers. So I never knew that was going on behind the scenes. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was me and then Coach Barakoff as well too. Because Mark, they shut down the Bandits. Then he came over because then we had Martise Moore, and then all of a sudden we've got all this. And I remember them telling me this. I was like, I mean, he is the Rocket. Okay, sure. I mean, like, what am I gonna say? Like, well, he's got a Heisman or whatever. He's playing the Rose Bowl. I mean, what have I done? Oh, I was fat back then. That's what I'm saying. So I was like, all right, cool.
Coach, you were beautiful then and now, but you did try to get in that picture, and I was like, no, Coach, I need you to slide out. Is this supposed to be Rocket and I? All right, we got to start off with, well, it's probably not breaking news, but here's what we got. You all know that Series 6 bit unusual, right? Like Kevin Stapleton was the head coach of the Slashers. He fought through several different health issues. We're not going to dive into it, but it was scary for all of us involved. But fought through some of those. SlamBall was very fortunate to have Stan take over. Stan, you led the Slashers to a 9-7 overall record, a berth in the championship game in the very first year you ever coached, second place overall finish. So we want to know here on SlamBall Nation, will you be the head coach of the Slashers in Series 7 this summer?
I'm really torn. I would say right now I would say no, because I think that there's more guys that need coaching spots, and and I think I'm useful in other places also, but I do feel kind of torn because I don't want to leave my guys that I built this bond with, and coaching is really what ended up being very fun to me, and it's something that I still need to learn at, and I haven't learned that much yet. I just got my first chance to do that, and I felt like, oh man, I really liked building on what I was building on, and learning from Stapleton, which is a guy that I respected in the same breath as you guys, and taking in Mike Reed did a really good job too of helping, but just that experience of just learning how to bring a team together, and like understanding what things are working, what things are not working, and being able to come back like, oh, I got this new idea, I got to put this in because this is happening, and just adjusting the whole way made it a chess match the entire season, and that was fun for me. That part was very fun, and then just building that bond and knowing that guys are looking for you to have to see the future for them. You get what I'm saying? And that part, I have a hard time leaving. But if something bigger or something that doesn't take my time up too much in order to not coach, then I would definitely still coach if I can. But I don't feel like there's a reason why I should coach right now when where we're at as a company. Like
Right.
we're short-handed. So me wearing this hat and then going over here just to coach when I got to leave that stuff alone, that might not work out too well.
Well, one of the things that I was really impressed. Now, so as many of you guys know, Stan and I faced off in the semifinals. So I show up to the arena, and I put a big premium on rest. I'm like, I was like, we got to rest. Stan was having full speed practice before our game. And I was like, in my mind as a coach, like, oh yeah, hey, Stan, keep on practicing, brother. Keep on. This is going to be good. But it definitely worked to your favor. And I didn't think about this till later on, where the games are only 20 minutes long, if that, right? It's super high. So the reality is you may not be even full speed motion, or your body's super warmed up till like maybe the third quarter. Is that something you did every game? Is that something you're like, hey, you know what? We need a win, so we're going to do this today. What was that thought process with that?
Yeah, it's how our season is, right? It's a gradual build up throughout the whole series. I was big on taking the breaks and resting and listening to Joe the whole time. But when it came to playoffs, it's like, oh, we don't got no more time.
Right.
we only have this amount of time, and there was some other things that I needed to put in at that time because you guys had adjusted to us really well. I mean, outside of the mob, which you guys just killed us, but the buzzsaw was someone that really understood what we were doing and made the adjustments to put a monkey wrench in our whole plan. So I had things that I had to adjust to and change even at that moment. So that going full on was like actually a teaching moment at the same time. Like, we had to do some different things for sure.
Mm. Well, it worked.
Yeah,
Damn it, it worked.
it did work. It did work. You did such a great job as a
worked that
coach.
time, man. I can't really. I haven't said this enough, but Carson's really stepped up for us at that time. And no matter whatever I put in, you know how important the stopper is, and he did an excellent job. So I got to shout him out for this moment. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. We talked about this at nauseum, where if you look at the final four teams in the playoffs, all four, you could probably force rank the stoppers in those four teams. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have a great stopper to be able to compete for a championship in slam ball. Some teams just had great stoppers and there were injuries. Some teams just never found what that stopper was, but totally agree. Karstjens was unbelievable, as was Amir Smith when you had him back there. He could do it all. I mean, gunner and stopper.
Yeah, he reminds me of old school David Redmond when he first started. Just the guy that can do both sides, and David didn't have the opportunity to run the wing as much as he should have. That's how I feel. But that's why I let Amir, and I knew what was going to keep him happy. Also, he needed to touch the ball a few times. You know what I mean? And make sure he gets some dunks in, and he ended up making some really good plays for us too. But on the offense and back there as stoppers. So I was blessed to have the guys that I got. I don't know how that happened because the selection place I was in wasn't that great, and then I didn't know who I was gonna pick, even though I saw everybody. But Stapleton had his list. He was in the hospital, but I had Stapleton with me. So that was cool. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're right. When we draft, we're not sure what we get, but obviously you had Tony. Bradley you picked early, and Bradley was just great at that backside lob, throwing it, and really, I mean, we watch film, and I'm watching his eyes, and he would kind of throw you off with his eyes on what he's looking at and things like that. I mean, you really coached up these guys, but how big were those two guys offensively for you, Tony and Bradley?
Well, I'll say this about, because I know we talk about Tony so much, so I'm gonna go to him second. But Bradley is someone that I picked first. I picked him super early because Bradley came in really late in training camp, and he came in right around the time we started scrimmaging, and he probably only been on the floor maybe one day before we started scrimmaging, and he was making super impact. It happened to be him, Tony, and Enzo on the same team in training camp, and they won like 3 or 4 games together. And Bradley had just got there, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" Like, I didn't see him as he was going to super dominate, but he's going to make all the right adjustments. He's going to read. He's going to play smart. He's going to hustle. He's not scared. I just thought that he's going to also just be the facilitator that we needed. No matter what player we get, he's going to make sure that the team's going to run, effectively. He'll make the extra pass.
I mean, just like I mean, just between you and I, Stan, because no one else is listening here. How much you picking Bradley, did he remind you at all with your former backcourt mate? I guess we call it backcourt in SlamBall, Michael Goldman.
Yeah, he reminded me a lot of Mike. He reminded me of Mike when Mike used to attack the basket, though. Not
Wait.
the buff Mike. Now Mike got muscles.
That must have been pre-SlamBall. When was that?
Mike came in Series 3. He had muscles, but he didn't go to the basket.
He did have muscles. That's right. That's right. He was jacked. He wore that cutoff all the time.
Yeah, he was. I thought it was over. Now I was like, oh, but you got muscles, but now you don't want to use them. Okay, whatever. So you remind me of Mike Coleman before the muscles.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
He was. How many highlights are there of the Goldman Fletcher connection? That was. I mean, that's iconic in old SlamBall. And we talk about old SlamBall. Stan, you played in old SlamBall. You coached in new SlamBall. What are the differences? What are the differences in your opinion between old and new SlamBall, and which one is better?
I think I really, I'll be the one to say this. I know a lot of guys have been hit me like, man, they don't hit, they don't do this, they don't do that. And I'm like, man, look, it's a game now. It's a strategic game now.
That's right.
It's a skillful game now. These players have longevity because we're not just trying to blow everybody up every single play. Like, like I know you guys seen, we got plays where the ball is on the total opposite side of the court and guys are just going nuts one-on-one, just like, what are you doing? There's nothing happening back there. Please go. What is that? It's just a skillful game. Guys are, there's things happening before you get in the springs. There's a lot of stuff going on when you get in the springs. There's tempo. There's, and then we still have those moments where it's very hard, physical, and you have those moments where you slow it down, because you have to get into your set. It's a skillful game now, and I really love it. I really love it. I know that the guys, this is the thing is, for us to have the type of series that we had right now with these guys never played SlamBall before, playing that way, think about series 2, 3, 4, 5 for them. Wow. We're going to see some amazing SlamBall. So I think I'm going to say, I think this is better. I look at series SlamBall season 1, it looks crazy. When I look at this, it looks absolutely crazy. I don't know how we got on SportsCenter.
Well, there was SlamBall Series 1, which I think we have to chalk up in like its own little kind of bucket.
Yeah.
And there was SlamBall Series 2 and 3 in China and kind of the rest of it. But I agree with you. I think if you look back in it, because, I've coached a lot of SlamBall. I saw a lot of big hits this past season in SlamBall, but I agree with you. What I think the differences that fans are seeing is I think the hits in old SlamBall were much bigger. I think you saw massive collisions both in the air and on the floor with guys being completely obliterated. And I think it made it seem like there were more hits than there were. I think there were actually more hits on the floor this last time around with SlamBall, but they were nowhere near as severe as the old hits. And I think if you look at that almost like, I don't look at that as a bad thing. I know everybody has their opinion. I look at it as the evolution of sports. Like if you look how the NFL was playing football 20 years ago when we were playing SlamBall, there was a lot of massive hits happening then too. And we've seen, that sport has been around, unlike SlamBall for 20 years. We've seen those hits have to evolve for player safety and all those types of things. There's still plenty of hitting in the NFL, but I think that's kind of what we have in SlamBall now too, is just hits. But I don't think you're ever going to see those massive explosion hits in the air on the floor like we had back in the day.
I agree. Like I'm thinking about back then when the NFL, they only had like one bar across.
Yep.
You could see they was missing teeth and all type of stuff. It was crazy back then, and even me watching the NFL, 10 years ago, was still bigger hits and all that stuff, but it's still fast football now. It's fast. It's it's explosive, and that's what we have. People are choosing their moments the right way, appropriately now.
Yeah, and I think we're also having just guys from different sports. I mean, the reality is, season 1, 2, and 3 were just guys who are like basketball guys just trying to hit, and sometimes it's really ugly or really dirty. Now we've got guys who get low, who have played football at some point in their career, and they know how to explode and really get up under someone and then make the proper contact. And I agree with you. I think the players now are much more skilled. And again, I always go back to it. Like, I don't know if they're any softer or not. They just grew up in a different time. And now, and Shakes, you see this with Amir on social media, Tony on social media, a lot of these guys on social media, now they have other outlets, they have other passions, and that's okay as long as we constantly evolve with them. Back then, it's like, yo, this is what we got. Like, this is all we have. And now we're going to just do everything we can to do it. But I mean, but here's the thing. It just shows you, when you coach your team, how well they got better over the course of the year, how they embraced your philosophy, and how you made a successful jump from playing to coaching, which is not easy. What was that for you? Like, you were like, oh, this coaching is easy? Or were there like these moments you're like, oh shit, I hate this. I just want to strangle all these motherfuckers? I'm so sorry. I'm not supposed to cuss on here. I'm so sorry, SlamBall management. Go.
The last part you said with the MF thing, yeah, I felt that way all the time, no matter. Yeah. But when they asked me to coach, I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to do it." And then I went home. I was like, "Oh, damn, what did I just do?" Because now I put myself into that same category. And I'm like, "Yeah, they want to see me fail. That's what they do. It sets you up really good." Yeah, so I was like, no, it's a really good challenge. Luckily, I, was able to get a lot of experience with training slam ball. When I was in China, I didn't really coach slam ball. I had more, I refereed more than I coached. You know, so, but I trained a lot of the people that was there. A lot of the team, all the teams. I trained the coaches who wanted to coach out there, and it just gave me the experience I needed to be able to learn how to implement certain things, right? And I didn't have a system in place or anything like that, but I definitely was just up for the challenge, But I knew that, hey, I'm facing a good player never makes a good coach, situation. So I halfway during the season, that's when I got to like these motherfuckers. Y'all gonna do this shit. Yeah,
Spoken like every coach everywhere, eventually. No, I mean, I think, but you make a great point because you talk about the training. You talk about old slam ball, new slam ball. I think old slam ball did as good a job as they knew how to do with training players. And I don't think it was quite as comprehensive back then as it is today.
No.
We've talked about it. You talk about safety training. I mean, I remember the drill where you jump over a pad and you come down on your elbow pads and knee pads and slide. And then it's like, all right, let's play some slam ball. It's evolved dramatically since then. I want to hear your thoughts on like the evolution of training in slam ball because you've been at the forefront, at the heart of that.
I just was telling Inches that we was talking about that same drill. And the worst part about it is I said, our dumbasses actually did it. Like, what are you doing? Like we made it to it's like a real drill now. We're jumping over this pole from the top. We jump over the island from the bottom spring bed to the top spring bed and jump over a pole like it's high jump and then land on our knees and our elbows. And we jump on like slam up. Like what? What are we doing? When are we gonna use that? If that's part of the game, why are we playing this?
Oh my God.
What?
I'm telling you, it was that and rim hangs. And then it was like, all right, let's play.
Yeah. Then it was like throw the ball off the glass and let's go, right?
Yep.
How many
You look at what you did now. Look at what you did this offseason. I mean, they had you come in with your role in slam ball and put together an entire training package, a lot of which you were doing in China, I know, with the Chinese players, but you put together an entire training package, and you basically were single-handedly responsible for getting the players who have never touched a slam ball court in their life to being slam ball ready, draft ready in 2 weeks. For half of them, 1 week. So talk about how you did that and kind of the evolution of training within the sport.
It really was a lot of the China experience because I when I was in China, I got to do so much training where I got to level out what type of training happens in a certain amount of time period on the floor, and I got to test that over and over and over again. Where I got so comfortable with that, where I start understanding how a body language looks, where you're ready to accept more or where your body is ready to accept more out of the slam ball court, out of the springs potentially, right? And now I'm faced with the back against the wall as a time frame that we have in order for these guys to get ready. So now I'm just mapping it out. I did always think about for moving forward. That time frame did affect some of the decisions sometimes, and then sometimes you still have to be kind of hard and hold some people back, no matter what it's going to be. And I felt like I could have prevented some other things that happened last training camp, and because it was in my head and I really thought about it, and I went home and I was mad at myself for not taking action on that, but that China experience just gave me that. It gave me enough time to just trial and error, and I ended up leaving China with maybe 5 or 6 injuries, out of 6 years, almost 7 years. So I was very confident in, what type of skills. Now I did have to add more things because American players are a little bit more, better than or more after. I don't know. I said that.
What you said is correct.
More athletic.
More athletic, right? That sounds better. China, J.O. Yep. Yeah. But I think
they're never going to see this anyway, Stan, because of the Great Firewall. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I had to add in a little bit more, higher, athleticism type of skills and mix more things in and kind of ramp it up. But I've just felt really, really confident about it. And then, I also had all the SlamBall coaches that are the highest level of SlamBall minds that we can bring together. It's like the SlamBall X-Men group came together. So I was always asking you guys, hey, what's up? Can you guys do this? Because I would want to make sure, because you guys are thinking about it the same way, like I'm thinking about it, and if you had something, I'm like, man, I need you guys' help. And we all came together and carved out a really good plan.
Well, there were a hell of a lot of way too many X-Men. That's all I'm saying. There was a lot of X-Men everywhere. But here's the thing, and I think this is where I have this debate with other coaches, because I think what's interesting in society, they look at coaching like anybody can do, right? It's like, oh, I could just coach. And the reality is that there is a training process, which you did in China. I mean, here's the thing. Like your growth from when I knew you as a player to when I saw you again, which of course I haven't seen in like 15, 16 years, I told Brendan and I told Coach Stapleton, I was blown away at the level of, and the word is not maturity, like the level that you brought up the level. You brought it up, but it was because of those years of doing it. And I'll say this all right here on this podcast, just like I told you during training camp, listen, you're the GOAT. There's nobody else that should be. You don't need our input, damn it. You don't need our input. We have not been the one doing this for 6 damn years. You were doing this for 6 or 7 years in another country, in China, where you have to speak slowly because you have an interpreter. Dude, I had to do that when I was in Japan. Same thing. Like that, man, it's tough. So big flowers up to you, brother, because, man, you're impressive, and it showed the way you coach your team and you got to the championship game. Like, honestly, man, it was freaking amazing.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. You guys always have been the guys that I look at as real SlamBall coaches. So I was trying to be in you guys, talking group. I wanted to be with alongside of you guys. If I'm gonna take the coaching job, so I told him, if I want to do coach, if you guys ask me to coach, I want to be a coach because I would like to prove that I can think the game is you guys, because we ran through a lot of guys that came in and coached, like we talked about earlier, but it's harder than they think to understand the moments of SlamBall and what needs to happen, and where the areas that that things can happen on the offense, where are the things we need to improve on it, like this, and then understanding the progression of the SlamBall season itself and what's going to happen, how players can go up, go down, ramp up a guy, how you can see this guy's good or better for this. It's difficult, and it shows, and I want to be in you guys' class. So thank you so much for that, man. I really appreciate that. To be honest,
no.
Ken Carter, when he saw me, when he finally came, he came late to the one thing that we had. But when he came,
shocking.
He started crying. He started crying because he knew I was a knucklehead, And yeah, I had to mature a lot, man. I had to mature a lot. A lot of things happen in life, and but he started crying like, man, I can't believe it. I'm watching you talk and express and say these things and come across like this, and he was so proud too. So I'm so happy and thankful that how life works, and that I'm here talking to you guys about this stuff.
No, you were fantastic, Stan. And that's what we've talked about this at length, like where we think the Slashers, your coaching staff was unbelievable. The way that you had to come in and put a game plan together and a strategy together, kind of under difficult circumstances with Coach Stapleton not being around at first and then coming back and being able to layer in. But you did such a fantastic job and your players loved you. And that's tough, man. Like any good coach knows, it's a fine line between, respect and fear and all those types of things, but you had that perfect balance of you were really teaching them. You could tell there was a bond between you and your players and that they really respected you and liked you, but you also taught the game at such a high level, and your team got better. Like your team got better every single time you played. You were not a team, I can tell you, you were not a team that we wanted to face in the finals. You were not a team that we wanted to see in the playoffs. I think, truth be told, Coach Ballou and I were like kind of hoping the Slashers would get knocked out of there before we ever had to play you guys.
Whoa!
Oh, side Jack. Sorry.
Whoa! All right, I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna clip that piece of the podcast.
I'll clip it together. No, but we talk about, like, you've heard people say, oh, it's got to be easy to coach it. It's not. Just like it's not easy to play it. There's so much that goes into it. People don't understand. Like, Stan, I know on social media you get hit up all the time by guys that want to play it. Pick me up. It's like, it's a difficult sport to play, people. It's played on 3 different axes. It's played on the floor. It's played in the slam zone. It's played in the air. Oh, by the way, you need fearlessness. It's cool that you're out there dunking in the park on a trampoline, or you don't need one. That's great. But can you do it when you have to have a collision 14 feet in the air? Can you do it when you're dribbling down the court and somebody can blow your ass up? The answer is probably not. Like, it is a very challenging sport. And we talk about like the evolution of coaching and playing. It goes back to the beginning, which you were there for. And you were one of the very first players offensively that brought true artistry to the game. And I'm going to be honest. They hired me as a 23-year-old kid, a 23-year-old college coach coming into SlamBall. And I saw some of the artistry and I was like, what the hell are we like? Why is Sean Inches Jackson doing the McNasty? We don't need to do it. I've come full circle on that. I was so wrong, because not only is it artistry and it's part of the game, also strategically, we saw the McNasty work twice this year as a strategic advantage. So, like, talk a little bit about how you developed the artistry that you developed. I know a big part of that was tramp transfer. How did that come about? How did you perfect it? I think a lot of people would be interested in hearing kind of that story.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. The things that you were saying, because it looks way more flashy than it is, like, useful. Like, it looks flashy, but really I'm doing it based off balance. If I jump up in the air and I take it through my legs, I'm way more on balance than if I jump up straight up and try to keep my body straight. I'm moving my body. I'm picking my knees up. I'm generating more force into the spring when I come down. Now I'm leveling my body out, and I'm giving myself room to get my body on track, and I'm being able to see the ball as it comes. That it just felt way better, more comfortable. It looks flashy, but it really, if I tried to do it sometimes just without going through my legs, like, I don't want to make a flashy play. I'm just trying to get over here because I got to get to this area. That's how it was. And, I have to accept it, man. I'm going through my legs because it feels more comfortable for me. I wasn't the biggest player. I was always thin, running around, trying to not get hit. So I needed to stay in the springs. That was my way to use my advantage to get around. And I can't go at the stopper every single time one-on-one. I can't. He's gonna get me. I'm not gonna be. I don't go as high as TA or Dak. I can get up, but I don't get that high. I'm not gonna outlast the stopper. I'm not gonna. If I go quick and he catch me, I'm probably not big enough to move him out the way like LaMonica. So what can I do? I gotta trick you. I gotta move around. I gotta get you off balance. I gotta get you. And plus, back with the steel with the series one, I didn't have too many other options. Snoop was great. Snoop was great. Mike Goldman was great. But sometimes we didn't have other attacking options as attacking as much as we needed to at that time for SlamBall. So when I came back series two, I was like, nope, I'm gonna find a way, because if I don't see it open now, I need to move from this screen bed to the other screen bed, to give myself more time to get the stopper off balance, so I can be where you're not. That's the whole thing. I'm gonna be where you're not at all the time. So, and that's helped me with longevity with playing slam ball. God bless, I've never been hurt in slam ball. I've never missed a slam ball game because of injury. Have I missed basketball games because of injury? Of course. So when people say which one is safer, for me, I'd rather play slam ball. I know I'm not gonna get hurt. So and I'm gonna have a lot of fun. But with the transfer thing, it just purely was, hey, we need. I was talking to Mason. I said, what is our mid range? Like, I used to love players like Joe Johnson, because he had the mid range game. He'll work you, and then they get next to the 17-footer, 15-footer pull up. I love that game. What is our mid range game for slam ball? Right? I got to be able to move around. How we move through the springs is our thing. That's what we own now, right? Because everyone else can move and dribble the ball on the floor and all this stuff, pass the ball, throw alley-oops, all that. But when we move through the springs, that makes us slam ball, right? So we need to identify that and make that really cool, so people understand, oh, that's the technique, that's the skill that it takes to get from the side to the top and making a play, or see a guy cutting, know the bounce rule, know how to which bounce level to get to, which speed I'm going to go to. If I got to get over there fast because I'm making a play, everything is timing. It's a lot going on. That's what I tell people. You got to see 3 plays, 4 plays ahead in slam ball. And that makes you, like, you see the future, man. Like, it's totally different than any other game.
Yeah, and really what I noticed is it's just misdirection. A tramp transfer, the way you did it, at its heart, even though it's a lot prettier than like throwing a lob like we do, all it is just misdirection around the stopper. So like when you're doing your tramp transfer, what are you watching? Like, tell the players and the audience, like, what are you watching or looking for when because sometimes you don't do one tramp transfer. Sometimes you would do 2, sometimes you would do 3, sometimes you would switch up your bounce. So tell the audience like what you were looking for when you were doing that.
Yep. So at first, like, I'm looking to see if the first spring that I get into to start it, I'm going to look to see if he gets in with me at the same time. If he gets in with me at the same time, he's trying to match my bounce. So now at some point, I know I got a chance. I'm going to make sure when I get to the bottom, it's going to be on a quick, because he's matching my bounce. So now I'm going to lower him to sleep. Boom, 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 boom. You get what I'm saying? That's how I'm going to get him. It is misdirection. Because I'm going to land if I land the top and I know I'm about to hit the bottom, I see this or this now, because I land straight in the middle. So now I give myself room to make a play, whichever one we lean over to, right? And then now if he gets in late, now I got him like this. Now it's just play time, because it's all over.
That's cold.
Yeah.
I did see, and Coach H, I'm going to let you in here, but I did see many times against the mob where we always taught our stopper, we were like, get in and match his bounce. Get in and match his bounce. And as soon as they would do that, you would go second tramp transfer and then a real quick low tramp transfer, a real quick tramp transfer into the scoring bed, and you'd get us every single time on that.
Yeah, that's the whole concept.
Now, hold on. I'm you're talking about the Steel team. I was like, who the hell was on the Steel season 1? So I'm trying to look it up here. I mean, how about this for teammates? All right, Jeff Sheridan, who was with the Bouncers, had compartmental syndrome, if I remember this correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You had Ken Barnes, which I had no idea. I forgot who Ken Barnes was. You had Sam Jones, and then you had, was it maybe the shortest stopper ever in Robert Grogan? I forgot that dude too. I'm like, we should do Where Are They Now? Because I know where we are now. I want to know where they are now.
I thought Robert Grogan was like a stunt man, right? So I thought, he just hit him in the air. But he tried to hit him, but it just was too little, man. Like LaMonica was having a field day with him. He was just grabbing him everywhere, just throwing him around the air, dunking the ball. Like, what the hell, man? I told people Speedy was my first teammate. I was like, Speedy actually did pretty good. He just didn't get the burn that he needed in order to get better at that time. So when he left and he was doing all this stuff, I was like, see, he was ready to do that in Series 1. But Snoop was so dope because he was so effective, but he wouldn't attack the basket that much because he was like, I don't know how the landing part works, but So
well,
that's threes and all that stuff, man. So I don't know how to understand our team, like the matches, like who picked that team.
This is amazing.
Tails,
this is
right?
amazing.
All right, so here's one thing that we talked about a lot. I heard a lot of see, Stan, I can't put you in just the old player group because you kind of were a hybrid coach trainer for all those years between old SlamBall and new SlamBall. But I heard a lot of the old player group that came in to coach for the first time. I heard him talking about, all right, if there was a veteran SlamBall team, if you put together a best 6-7 players to play old SlamBall versus best 6-7 players to play new SlamBall, who's going to win that game?
Oh, we had just made a list, and so I would tell you who was on my list. I had I picked me Inches, I picked James Willis, because James is super crafty. You can't do nothing about him, even though you think you really can't about him. And then I had, of course, Jelani, because no matter what, Jelani does everything. I had Deion Mays on my team. I had Duke Nasty on my team. I had David Redmond on my team. And then who else did I have?
Be careful. There's a lot of old players about to be real hurt right now.
I know.
That's right. Hurt them, Stan. Anyway. Hurt them. That's fine. They got to get over themselves.
Who else did I have on my team? David Redmond. I had who else was that? Oh, well, I can't think of it right now.
Gunner, handler, stopper.
Was it more gunners? Oh, I had Whitney White. Whitney White. And then I had one more pick. Inches. He put George Bird on this team. But I
no LaMonica or TA or Noah or any of those guys.
I had LaMonica. It was LaMonica.
Yep.
That was my 8.
I was gonna say the mob is underrepresented in this team.
No, that was my 8. No, I had Inches and LaMonica for the mob for sure. I know I had left out Noah. Noah's so dope, but James just always from the beginning when I first got the SlamBall, I was always like, hey, that's my big bro. Like that's big brother. He knows what every time I played him, I didn't even talk to him because I didn't want to you know what I'm saying, make him mad or whatever. Like I just really respected him because you would know that he got 25 points. You would think that he got like 3 or 4, but he's got 25 points and he's probably dished off the ball a gang of times. He already tricked. He's got the stopper off the rhythm because of the things that he do. Like seriously, he's thinking out there. So I had to get him LM for sure, hands down. Like I'm not gonna, and I really hate that I missed Chris Robbins on there. I hate that I missed Chris Young on there, but Deion Mays, I had to put him there too.
I'm not gonna complain like my co-host here that the bouncers are underrepresented here. It's fine. On that list though, I love that list. I think the key thing though, people are forgetting, okay, who's playing defense on old SlamBall teams? Besides like LaMonica gets you a couple hits.
Yeah.
But like
Sean Inches Jackson did. He's on that team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sean played some D. He played D, and he
Yeah.
hustles around. He'll get you loose balls.
he will also. Yep.
He's gonna be a facilitator. He don't have to have the ball, but he's gonna cut at the right time. Like Sean is dope, man. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but that's why I had David Redmond because
Yeah.
David was like if he played on the wing more, people wouldn't be able to get around him.
No. He was such a good gunner, and people don't realize that. I mean, if the game was more evolved back then, he would have been Amir Smith, of old SlamBall, where you could come up and you could just bang on a stopper anytime you wanted, and you could also come back and make plays on defense. But I love that. Now, who would be your team? Who's the top 7 in U SlamBall? Who's representing that side?
I had Tony Crosby.
Homer.
I had Dak. And I have Keith McGee. I put Keith McGee on my team.
He's definitely not playing defense.
I didn't take Bryce. I didn't, and I said, Bryce, I'm sorry. You're number 1 draft pick. You don't need my validation at all. You are great. I just didn't see him play that much. So I only picked 8 guys. So Tony Crosby, Dak, Keith McGee, Gage Smith for sure. I had Amir Smith. And I had Justin Holmes, the juggernaut. The guy went the whole season and only missed 1 face-off. Like that's
I know.
Who else did I have? I said Gage. I said Amir. I didn't have anybody from the Rumble. I'm sorry.
You don't have to say sorry.
No. We smash the Rumble all the time on this show.
Yeah. That's fine.
There was a crazy situation. Who was my other 2 guys?
Did you have Kaishan Jones or Ty McGee?
I had Ty.
No.
I had Ty McGee.
We always get one, guys. We always get one. We get 1 dunk, and we get 1 in Stan's list. It's like my offense. Can't score.
Oh man, who did? I did. I picked Cam Hollins. I picked Cam
Hollins. Yeah,
and if people don't know that was the only person I recruited the last season.
Who's that? Cam Hollins? Well, you did a great job. How'd you let us draft him?
I was in a weird spot because Stapleton had like 4 names on his list already, so he had half his list done before he went to the hospital. So
Yep.
I was like, I feel obligated. I
Yep.
have this, But he was on there. I caught like out of nowhere because I saw him dunking, doing the things off the trampoline. But this is the way he attacked the rim. It wasn't like it wasn't normal. Like the trampoline halftime guys, they do the trick and they float. They float. He was going at the rim.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa. I called him in the morning one time. I just woke up like, I'm going to call him. So I called him on Instagram like, hey, you want to go to SlamBall? Yeah, he was like, and he did, how Cam is, like, he's, he gives you that face. Like, I'll do whatever right now. Like, cool. And I was, you got to come. You have to come. Because if you attack the rim, you was attacking it when I saw just for halftime, you attacked the rim that hard at halftime. Yeah, come on. I know this is for a competition. You're going to do good. But that was my 8. So,
that's pretty good. Now, who wins?
Old SlamBall wins that one.
I love it. I love it. All right, here we're getting towards the end of it. Now, listen. Here's the unique thing about you: is you played SlamBall, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, player of all time. You've coached SlamBall at a very high level. You also work in the front office. So there's a lot of players out there, a lot of people out there that are like, "What the hell is happening with SlamBall right now?" Give us the take.
Yeah, well, we going back now. We're focusing on Summer SlamBall. There are a lot of good, response from the sponsors that dealt with us. We're adding on more sponsors. We ESPN wants to give us a bigger platform. These are things I can honestly say now. I won't say anything that that are potentially happening. That's not.
Oh, we want all the speculation,
Yeah,
Stan.
Yep.
We want
All
all
of
the
it.
you
speculation.
know, the biggest thing is that it's hard to get broadcasting company like ESPN to even pay your attention, even if they gave you that time, because they gave us that 1 year, cool, to see what happens, but for them to give us that feedback and say, hey, next time around we want to open it up a little bit more for you guys, that means a lot, because there's a lot of guys that's there that understand sports and been around sports for years and years. And for them to say that about our sport and where we came from to where we are now is huge, But yeah, Series 7, I think it looks like we'll be moving from city to city. I think we planning on doing something like that instead of just being in one spot. So hopefully we can pull that off. I'd say that that hasn't give us something like that right now. I don't want to get myself in no trouble, and but. But yeah, but it looks to be really exciting. I think we're going to start a lot sooner than we started last summer. We started like right end of May,
Mhm.
something like that. But I think we might start a little bit earlier, um, and it might be a little bit longer of a season. I think it came and went too fast, so I think there's
Yeah.
a for a longer series. So um, I think the whole focus is going to Series 7 right now and not anything else, no tour thing and all that stuff. I don't honestly feel like we're at the right moment for us as a sport. As if we lock in for Series 7 and we really bring everyone that wants to see us do good and we make
Mm-hmm.
that really great, let's focus on that, knock that out the park.
Mhm.
And right now the bases are loaded for us already. We don't need to go out, doing all this other stuff. Bases are already loaded for us.
Yeah.
Let's knock it out the park.
That's a great call. And I agree with you, Stan. I think the ESPN thing is a perfect marriage because if you look at it, we are a sport that has a very young demo. Of course, there's the guys and the girls that used to watch old slam ball that we have back now that are our age, right? They're our age
Mm-hmm.
right now. But it really is that this sport can reach the unreachable generation. That 18 to 32-year-old that wants short format, high impact, high energy sports. And ESPN, like, let's not beat around the bush. Their demographic is 40 plus, but it is a true heart and soul sports network. So when you have a sport like ours that brings a demographic like that, and you have a network like that is true heart and soul sports, I think it's like the perfect marriage. So I would love to see an extension of the contract if that's possible, and for us to be on ESPN or the ESPN family of networks for quite some time. That's just me personally speaking.
Yeah, I think if we lock in that marriage between us and focus on I think they'll get behind us even more and more each time that we come out to play. Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
I'm more interested in just make sure that we kick cornhole's ass and also that little small court tennis they play, pickleball. I just
Pickleball.
listen.
What is the pickleball? What does
I,
the pickle got to do with anything?
I don't know. I don't know. And I hope this is my hope. I hope, Stan, that next year we're not wearing sponsors on our shirts because, as everybody knows, Coach Sandy Fletcher and I love going to Target or Marshalls or Amazon to get our shirts. So if any of those three businesses would like to, sponsor the Buzzsaw Coaches, just let me know. Hit me up. You just Google Hernando. It's fine. But yeah, I'm just waiting for that because that would be the piece de resistance with ESPN and SlamBall coming together.
Crazy.
You guys were well dressed. I was so mad because I thought I was just getting to the game, and every time I get there and I play, I was like, beat me already because I was coming to shake your hand. I wanted to pour something on your shirt, but
Well, I was more mad. This is what I was more mad. I was more mad. SlamBall season is over. 3 months goes by. I go to Target. A decent amount, and I'm like, the same shirt I bought for full price is now on sale. Damn it. Man, there goes my clothing budget for SlamBall. Damn, I should have kept that receipt.
I love it. Well, we're coming up on it. Stan, we appreciate you being on, man. Like, absolutely icon, legend of the game. You have so many different roles with SlamBall, still very much involved. So we're very fortunate to have you and your insight on the show. And the one takeaway that I had from all of this is that you said that James Willis is a better SlamBall player than Noah Ballou. Coach, before he can respond, take us out of here.
Noah's gonna be mad no matter what.
No doubt.
I could have put it. He would have been like, "You should have picked me first."
Yeah, he loves to be mad about stuff.
Yeah, he's gonna be mad anyway.
He does.
And even if you did pick him first, he's gonna be like, "Well, I'm still gonna beat you when I see you." So
Yep. And listen, he was mad while driving a Mitsubishi Diamante. Now he's gonna be really mad as he drives that damn Tesla. Go get that Tesla. No.
Gonna charge up.
Yeah, he. All right, now listen. Go, Kirsch.
I was going to say that's that SlamBall money. That's what it does for you. He came in a Mitsubishi Diamante and he left in a Tesla.
And I let it be known, me and him shared a lot of times in that Diamante, man. A lot of times going to San Diego and listening to the Roots crew. Like, I didn't even know he loved Roots as much as me, but I was enjoying the time, man. Me and Noah spent a lot of time doing video.
Noah Ballou's car's name was the Cream
Diamante.
Yeah, the Cream Dream. For those who didn't know, the Cream Dream, and he did donate it. So we're appreciative of that.
Beautiful.
Museum?
What was it?
To a museum or what? To science?
No, Goodwill. He donated that to Goodwill. That's what he did. I love you, Noah. I love you.
Take us out of here, Coach. We're at time.
All right, here we go. Listen, you just had the greatest experience in your life. Don't question me. Don't question me ever about the great experience in your life. But here's the deal. We had Stan Shakes Fletcher. They call him the GOAT. He is the GOAT. But I don't like the GOAT emoji because Stan and the GOAT is not the top of the mountain. You know who's on top of the mountain? The lion. The Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's what you are, Stan Shakes Fletcher. You are the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the apex predator. Coming to SlamBall, you're coached, you're trained, you're recruited. Like, what is there left in the world? Like, your life, I'm not going to say it's done because you have a lot more to do, brother. Thank you for coming on. You are amazing. Man, you are my hero. And let me say one thing about your fashion. There's nobody in this world who fits a pair of pants better than you do. Because I tell you what, you want burgundy pants, and I want burgundy pants, and you look a hell of a lot better burgundy pants than I did. I'm just saying.
You guys are going to make me go through and censor this So, I mean, I'm going to be doing this now. Might as well just let it fly.